President Joe Biden granting clemency of 39 pardons and 1,499 commutations. That's quite a bit. And there's some interesting Illinois names in here. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning. Get the podcast where you get podcasts. Just search Illinois in Focus. Let's check out the latest here from the White House clemency recipient list. Today, President Joe Biden, this was earlier this week, granted clemency consisting of 39 pardons and 1,499 commutations, pardoning the following 39 individuals, and goes through. But we can find the Illinois list here, which only one for the pardon. All right, so this is Diana Bazin Villanueva, LaGrange, Illinois, 51-year-old woman who was convicted of a nonviolent drug offense in her 20s. In the years since, Villanueva has been dedicated mother to her children and has worked in payroll and accounts. Ms. Villanueva also regularly volunteers at school events, fundraisers, and annual autism-related charitable events. Friends and coworkers uniformly praise Ms. Villanueva and describe her warm and reliable and always eager to help. So you've got a pardon there from President Joe Biden, but a lot of headlines being made of Rita Crundwell, who was also not pardoned, but had a commutation. So if you search the page there of the White House announcement, you'll see Rita Crundwell there. And who is she? Well, she is the former Dixon comptroller, I believe. Was it Dixon? That had a whole bunch of embezzlement. And I tell you, when news started splashing that Rita Crundwell had a pardon, we've got some reaction here. Congressman Darren LaHood put out this statement saying that President Biden's latest decision to issue sweeping commutations shows his continued disregard for our justice system and rule of law, including in this reckless act. President Biden commuted the sentence of Rita Crundwell, the disgraced and corrupt Dixon comptroller who stole $54 million of taxpayer money from the city, while many families in Dixon were living paycheck to paycheck. She took advantage of their trust in government and used her access to live an unearned life of luxury in what the FBI still believes to be the largest theft of public funds in U.S. history. Commuting her 20-year sentence is a slap in the face to all hardworking police officers, firefighters, city workers, and residents of Dixon. She was sentenced, I think, like in 2013 to 20 years, so her sentence being commuted here. You've also got a comment from State Senator Andrew Chesney, who shares his thoughts, saying that outgoing President Joe Biden's decision to commute the sentence of Rita Crundwell is nothing short of a slap in the face of the people of Dixon and surrounding areas. Her crimes did not only affect taxpayers of Dixon, but they had a ripple effect across the region and state as communities became subject to stricter, more tedious regulations. First, it was the pardoning of his son, and now Biden is apparently extending clemency to anyone with political connections, including corrupt government employees. It's sickening. Senator Dick Durbin had a different kind of take altogether. We'll share that with you. But on the issue of Rita Crundwell, Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about this yesterday.
Honestly, haven't heard anything about it. You're saying it was a commutation? Yeah, which is different, just for everybody's, edification, than a pardon, right? Which is truly a forgiveness. I think commutation is often about saying they've served enough time or they've suffered enough from the conviction. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't part of the trial. I don't know whether it was an appropriate sentence that was given to her. Obviously, stealing any money from the public is something that he should be prosecuted for. And $54 million is outrageous, especially for a city the size of Dixon.
So obviously, the governor giving some reaction there, not knowing too much about it, but saying that anytime somebody's, stealing public funds, there should be some accountability. But what about campaign funds? Campaign funds being used for defending corrupt accusations, like former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan's using campaign funds. In his defense that's ongoing up in Chicago with prosecutors soon to rest their case. He's using his campaign funds, $1 million plus or so, to fund the defense. Here's the governor talking about whether campaign funds should be used in these types of situations.
It's a good question. I mean, I will say, I understand, when you're a public official, people sometimes get accused improperly. I'm not suggesting that's the case here, but sometimes they get accused or, end up on trial for something they didn't do. And there have been acquittals. People don't know much about those, but there have been acquittals. So the question is, I guess the question, and I don't have an answer for it. The question is whether, the dollars that people support you with for public office are appropriate to be used in the context of you're innocent until you're proven guilty. I would not do it, but I understand what the debate is about.
So Pritzker saying he wouldn't use campaign funds to defend himself. He's also a billionaire, but interesting side there when it comes to corrupt actors like Rita Crundwell, who President Joe Biden commuted her 20-year sentence after she only served, 8? So Senator Durbin has a take here on the president's massive commutation and pardon lists. Durbin said the president took an important step by commuting the sentences of men and women. In far too many cases in our justice system, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I've long advocated for criminal justice reform to address these inequities and commend President Biden for his act of mercy and for his leadership. He goes on to talk about criminal justice reform, even one that was signed by Trump, Durbin's First Step Act. So will there be some efforts if Durbin continues to work with the Trump administration on more? We'll see. Interesting to see how the pardon and commutation list impacts us here in Illinois. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will be talking with State Senator Andrew Chesney Monday morning, so we'll get more of his take on this commutation, but we'll also preview what's coming up at the State House, so put that on your calendar. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, get the headlines at thecentersquare.com.